Snipers, you have to see what's happening to the Bitcoin price right now, as this is an emergency update as our weekly candle closed less than 5 minutes ago. And for the first time ever in history, Bitcoin has closed a full weekly candle below its 200-week moving average. This is not what we wanted to see. And not only did we close fully below the 200-week moving average, for the first time ever, Bitcoin against the S&P 500, the one chart that was holding up during this capitulation, closing above the 200-week moving average, also closed for the first time ever in history below the 200-week moving average. This is not what we wanted to see for the bullish case. Let's hope this is a bear trap, Snipers, but this is one of the most bearish weekly candle closes I have ever seen in the history of tracking Bitcoin's price, making videos on it on YouTube every single day for the last 5 years. Let's really hope, Snipers, that this is a bear trap, but the technicals are showing something extremely bearish in the macro. And so let's dive into the black and white of the charts. I'm not going to go into indicators and fundamentals right now because this is a big deal, Snipers, and we have to understand what the important levels to watch are and what schematics could potentially come on the table, because here, notice how we tried our best to follow the S&P 500 and move towards 24,000 before seeing a rejection this week, and we have not been able to reconquer ourselves back towards 24,000 US dollars or even get above the 200-week moving average, indicating that there's still a potential chance now that we could come back to the 2018 previous all-time high at 19,798. And when you knock on a door for a third time, the more you knock on that door, the more likely that door is to open. If we open this door during this week, 18,440 is a CME gap that has not been filled yet. Even though price action has already came to this level, this was just during the weekend, CME wasn't open. That would be our initial downside target, potentially at least form a higher low. If we fail to hold that, 17,204 is the major support in this range, Snipers. I just want to put it out there. This was a very bearish weekly candle close. I'm telling you, Snipers, we'll have to even just look at the Bitstamp chart here, because the Coinbase chart and the Binance chart don't even have enough history to show you here that this is the first time that we have ever closed a full weekly candle below the 200-week moving average. March of 2020 capitulation, we did not do it. 2018 minor capitulation, we didn't do it. You go all the way back beyond even 2017, beyond 2016, not a full weekly candle below the 200-week moving average. Every single one has at least been able to hold on to it. And so, of course, every indicator is saying that we're close to a bottom or near bottom, but that does not give us much of an answer to the immediate short-term price action, Sniper. So here's what we're monitoring right now. Of course, with Bitcoin, we know the range that we're playing in. The weekly candle is also an indecision candle. I don't think that there's justification yet to break below the recent low from the initial capitulation, but that's why that CME gap is pretty important there at 18,440 for any downside target. For the upside scenario, at this point, we have to get towards 24,000 US dollars. We need to get here if we want to assume that this could potentially have been the worst of the downside in the immediate short to medium term. But for now, we are still in no man's land. We are still playing with fire, in my opinion, especially with our weekly candle now fully below the 200-week moving average. I know we were hoping that we could at least see the Bitcoin to SPY chart get back above the 200-week moving average to close, especially with the S&P 500 closing so strong on Friday. But that was not the case. And so that tells me that there's still fear in the market here. Now, there are a couple revolving parts that I just want to quickly mention on this video, Snipers. Ethereum reached 1277, which is the initial resistance, now inside of a range with a support of 1165. This is the range Ethereum is playing in. And so we'll continue to monitor this Ethereum to Bitcoin chart, still holding strong above 53,500 Satoshis. But based on this daily candle that just closed, it looks like we could be coming down to get a retest of that level. Let's continue to monitor that this week. Outside of that, there aren't many more important puzzle pieces to talk about. I'd say that the main thing to realize is that in the macro, we did get a big statement from the Bitcoin to SPY chart closing fully below the 200-week moving average, alongside with the Bitcoin price and weekly candle for the US dollar spot pairing closing fully below the 200-week moving average. Those are two very bold statements to come into this week. So It's going to be an interesting week to say the least, snipers. I'll keep you guys updated as things progress, as this matures. And until next time, I appreciate each and every one of you tuned into the Snipers channel. Smash like button for the YouTube algorithm if you support this content. And I'll see you tomorrow, snipers.